You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
I'm back. Rodrance for Black and White Sports 2. Well, we're going to talk about DeShaun Watson. We've got some interesting comments that have surfaced from ex-Browns general manager Mike Lombardi. Of course, he's a very, very long time NFL man. He's been with several teams, general manager, and he's got a podcast now, I believe, in fact, and I think it's pretty good. I've heard it a couple of times. I've heard snippets of it, too. It's pretty good. Well, anyway, he's come out. He has made some comments about DeShaun Watson because now he's speculating as to what Watson's actually going to get out of this, or at least what he's going to get out of this. And we've talked about the fact there is a monetary component in all of this as well that I believe the NFL very much wants to hit Watson in his wallet, okay? As well they should. This is TMZ, and this is a TMZ exclusive. DeShaun Watson ban likely to increase to at least 12 games. Ex-Brown general manager says the NFL's appeal of DeShaun Watson's 6-game ban is really bad news for the quarterback. So says former Browns GM Michael Lombardi, who tells TMZ Sports he now expects the suspension to increase significantly. We all do. I mean, look, the NFL's back on that indefinite ban train right now. The league announced on Wednesday it was appealing the ruling of Sue L. Robinson. I don't know what happens to her now. Handed down on Monday. But it has yet to publicly specify the punishment it truly thinks Watson deserves for his alleged misconduct with female massage therapist. Keep in mind here, guys, Sue L. Robinson's wording in her verdict back, number one, it teed it up for a longer suspension. I think she knew they were going to appeal. She also said there was no precedent for this because this whole situation was essentially so bad, there just was no precedent for it, for its comparable punishments. Also, in her opinion, what she ruled was he was guilty of 3 different things, and including she felt like he had a lack of remorse. So that's something else to keep in mind, and I think that really pissed Goodell off and the NFL. But Lombardi tells us he believes Roger Goodell and the league will be looking for at least 12 games, and it almost certainly targeting a full year suspension for the 26-year-old Cleveland star. Well, you could say the 26-year-old Texan star. He's never taken a snap in an actual game for Cleveland at all. Quote, I know the league wants a year. Lombardi, who was the GM for the Browns in 2013, they've made it pretty clear to all people that they leak information to that they're negotiating off of a year. We know the Players Association wants 6 games. Do they settle on 12? I don't know. I think a lot of this comes down to the simple fact who's going to win in federal court. I can tell you right now the Watson and the NFLPA will not win in court. They won't. Lombardi tells us, based on Robinson's ruling, the NFL will likely win in court. There we go. Which means the Shield has the most leverage here and should ultimately get what it wants. As for how the Browns organization should feel about it all, Lombardi says it can't have buyer's remorse because it had known what it was getting itself into. Good God, that just doesn't even sound right typed out. Quote, I mean, it was out in the open. The key in scouting and being up front in the front office is to learn more about the player before you acquire him than after you acquire him. And if they didn't do that, then shame on them. Look, there's been some rumblings out there about maybe the Browns didn't do all their homework. Former New Jersey Attorney General Peter C. Harvey has been tapped to hear the NFL's appeal, and while there's no deadline for the final ruling, it is expected to come down sooner than later. Yeah, there's definitely an element of he needs to come back with an expedited ruling because we're in training camp and headed into the season, and they do want to give the Browns, believe it or not, a chance to go out and acquire another quarterback if they so choose. They got Jacoby Brissett. The feeling was we're good at 6 games with Jacoby. Now that they're staring at 12 or 16, it changes everything. It changes everything. I would suspect, and Kevin Stefanski did mention maybe a week or so ago that, they've got a lot of options in their head for quarterback right now, and that just tells you, they kind of thought there was a chance that this might end up turning out to be a lot longer than evidently Watson's camp said. They were quote-unquote dismayed that they got anything. You surely cannot have your head in the clouds that much. If that came from Watson, oh my God, then that kid, he's a space cadet. I mean, he's truly a weirdo. I mean, he's a weirdo anyway, and there's something wrong there upstairs as far as I'm concerned. If these allegations are true, and we know all of these massage therapists, that is one thing right there that tells you something is not well upstairs. Okay? But the point is, if he truly thought, I shouldn't get anything, man, okay. I mean, look, I've said in all this, the Browns as a team deserves anything they get out of this, okay? As far as the front office and the owner, they deserve this to be an utter train wreck. The Browns fans, they don't deserve this. They're great football fans, and they don't deserve this train wreck that this has become. Tell me what you think. Lombardi says at least 12. I say it's got to be the season, or you're going to still have a significant amount of backlash. And the NFL wants to hit him for something like $1.5 million at least on a fine. And I've seen rumblings of like $5 million. Wow. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.